What is up, guys? Berserk Titan 99 here, and welcome back to another video and a new series that I am going to do called Rewritten. If you don't know what Rewritten is, it's a series where I rewrite good but can be better TV shows, mediocre shows, and shitty shows, and all throughout season 1 of Rewritten, it's going to focus on Book of Boba Fett. Even though I think the show is pretty good, but it can be better, and I have some ideas to help move the story along, and also I think it would be a better pace if some of those ideas were incorporated into Book of Boba Fett instead of, well, what they got. And yeah, so the first two episodes of Book of Boba Fett, they're going to be focused on how Boba Fett got out of the Sarlaac pit, and I am going to keep that his armor is stolen by Jawas, and I am also going to keep his time with the Tusken Raiders and how they attack that spice train and pretty much dispose of the Pikes. And that's going to be episode 1 of Book of Boba Fett. And yeah, let's get started on the plot for episode 1 of Book of Boba Fett. Alright, so episode 1 of Book of Boba Fett gets out of the Sarlaac pit, and he is so worn out for trying to get out of the Sarlaac pit because he spent, well, years in there, and the first night while he was resting from that, Jawas took his armor, took every bit of armor that he had, and the Jawas sold it to Cobb Vanth, which you can see in Mandalorian Season 2. Alright, so after that night, Boba Fett realizes that his armor's gone, and yeah, he wanders throughout the desert looking for a place to rest, and finally in the middle of nowhere he finds a good place to rest up. And yeah, while he's resting, he hears a Tusken Raider noise, and he goes to investigate what's going on. And then, bam, Tusken Raiders ambush Boba Fett, and Boba Fett's being taken prisoner by the Tusken Raiders with one other person. And the following day after that, the Tusken Raiders make Boba Fett and the other person dig up for some of those pearls. And I am also going to keep that 4-armed Godzilla thing because even though it kind of looks like one of those classic Godzilla model monsters, I just think that I think it incorporates into the story pretty well, and it saves one of the kid Tusken Raider. Alright, so the kid Tusken Raider, Boba Fett, and the other person, the kid is making Boba Fett and the other person dig for the pearls that they're trying to find on Tatooine, and the other person encounters the 4-armed Godzilla thing, and the Godzilla thing pretty much just decimates. Like, I'm gonna add like brutal violence because it's a show about a bounty hunter. It should have brutal violence. Like, the Godzilla thing rips the other person in half, making him, well, dead. And Boba, seeing that, protected the Tusken Raider kid from the the 4-armed Godzilla monster. And Boba Fett almost gets killed by the Godzilla monster, because the Godzilla monster is going after the kid. And a little bit after that, Boba Fett finds one of the Tusken Raider weapons, uses that against the four-armed Godzilla monster, saves the kid's life, and the four-armed Godzilla monster is pretty much dead. So, the Tusken Raiders thank Boba Fett for his service and how he slayed the monster. And yeah, a little later in the episode of Book of Boba Fett, Boba sees the train that's full of spice that's being controlled by the Pikes and a biker gang attacking and also a biker gang. While he sees that happening, that Weequay biker gang attacks the Tusken Raiders. So Boba Fett goes to the bar where the Weequay biker gang get their fill in and beats them up brutally with the Tusken Raider weapon and also a blaster that he found on the floor, and also saving some people's lives because they were being forced to give the Weequay biker gang drinks and all that stuff. Alright, so after that, he goes back to the Tusken Raider camp, shows the Tusken Raiders the Weequay biker gang armor, or the Weequay biker gang's corpses, and just to show them that they don't have to deal with them anymore. And they were also dealing with the spice train led by the Pikes as well. And I'm going to keep that scene where Boba Fett trains the Tusken Raiders how to ride, or teaches the Tusken Raiders how to ride on speeder bikes. And I'm also going to keep like a bantha, because that line is kind of funny. So, Boba Fett teaches the Tusken Raiders how to ride speeder bikes. The Tusken Raiders show Boba Fett their ways in, or a little bit more, their ways in fighting, and it's going to be a whole training montage back and forth of Boba Fett teaching the Tusken Raiders some things, the Tusken Raiders teaching Boba Fett their way of fighting, and yeah, so a little bit after that, Boba Fett and the Tusken Raiders that are now on speeder bikes go attack the spice train that the Pikes are using to carry spice into Tatooine, and Boba Fett and the Tusken Raiders just pretty much attack the spice train with some Tusken Raiders. Well, most of the Tusken Raider party are already dead because of the Pikes, and it is up to Boba Fett and another Tusken Raider to take down the spice train, and Boba Fett, picking up a blaster from one of the Pikes, shoots the controls of the train and has that come to a complete and utter stop. Alright, so Boba and the Tusken Raider that was left, or that warrior Tusken Raider that was left alive, captured the remaining forces of the Pikes. The other Tusken Raiders come and go, and the Pikes looking all nervously oh no. And so the Pikes on the spice train are now prisoners of the Tusken Raiders. Alright, so this episode ends with Boba Fett saying goodbye to the Tusken Raiders, and the Tusken Raiders giving him a bantha to ride on, and yeah. Yeah, and Boba Fett just says goodbye to the Tusken Raiders. The Tusken Raiders appreciate all that Boba Fett has done, and yeah, and Boba Fett rides away from the Tusken Raider camp on a bantha, like a bantha. Oh my gosh. And that's the end of episode 1 of my rewritten Book of Boba Fett. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're curious. I am currently trying to make it to 40 subscribers, and I am so close to making it to 40. So if one or two of you decides to press that subscribe button and help me make it to 40 subscribers, that would absolutely be a blessing. That would be a blessing if you do that. Alright, so subscribe if you're curious, like the video, comment your thoughts, and also comment how you would also rewrite episode 1 of Book of Boba Fett. And I'll see you all in the next episode of Rewritten, and also the next video. Bye!